we can sense the tone immediately. We can sense that there's a discomfort, a darkness, an animosity. And at first, when she was noticing the baby, I was like, oh, maybe she had lost a baby, something like that. And then as we see, the girls kind of getting together and sharing their interpretations of the incident that happened, and then we get to finally see, well, I guess we don't ever really see the true lead up to what happened, but in a sense, it doesn't really matter because we do get to see what happens, which is that the one girl does drop that rock, and the devastating outcomes of that. And clearly, all of them feel guilt around it and feel some sort of sense of responsibility because they were there for it. And it's clearly still following them and kind of haunting them throughout their life, as we can see. Really, really amazing performances. We can feel that guilt and pressure. And these kids, they're kids, right? They're so young, having to kind of deal with the consequences and outcomes of being reckless, being irresponsible, giving into peer pressure, etc. And now having to live with that on their conscience and having this kind of like dark secret that binds them all together, but has also torn them apart.
These actors did a great job portraying this story, and to show such like a youthfulness and almost naivety at some points, leading up to this this event. I think it's an interesting look at dealing with almost like dealing with the consequence of your actions and like finding responsibility. It almost seemed like an allegory for responsibility almost. Thematically, I think it was really interesting, and it was almost like a fable. It's something I would show like a teenager, about, just like I said, like learning the consequence of your actions. I think it was shot really well. The story flowed really well. The acting was very good. And it came together to be just a really cohesive piece that was really impactful.
It's one of these films where you're kind of dropped immediately into this moment in time of this trio having a conversation of what is versus what actually was. They experience this moment together, yet have three different perspectives on how the matter went down. A lot of them may or may not be in denial of the choices that they've made. They do a really good job of creating this soundtrack and visuals to kind of pair this together, and you kind of get to see a really clear moment. We get to see these three girls in two different periods of time, and they're pretty well separated in that matter as well. Very short, great, and to the point.
This whole piece is about peer pressure and your interpretation. So we'll get together and it's always, you say there's your side, my side, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. In this case, we don't ever fully truly get to the truth. When it comes to these three girls' recollection of how this all went down. So much foreshadowing in this really sets the tone for me. The Rock, obviously, major foreshadowing. Then you have the victim. We're following the victim throughout her day. We're getting a sense of who she is just by seeing her putting her kid in the car, saying bye to her husband, going about her business. The whole thing really sets it up very well that something is not completely right here. And I know immediately what the tone is and where I'm going to be at in this space. And now I'm eager to find out what is happening. And then we find it a year later, which is also great. Puts us right where we are a year later from what? The structure of this piece was just really all around really great. And the structure of this is for it to be short. It was very well rounded, very robust.
Although a cautionary tale that has been told before. I think Wait Till It Drops does some really cool things with creating suspense and not really letting us know what's happening until the very end in a really well timed out way so that it doesn't lose on the suspense or on the emotion that it's creating through those different character perspectives.
The acting was great on everybody's part, but I really loved how they let the story unfold and how the mystery of what actually happened was revealed and the way that it was revealed. I thought that that was very clever. And the story in and of itself really packed a punch too.
You really don't understand what's reality, what's imagination. But I think the main characters, they all have compelling arcs that uh, conclude at the end of the short in a powerful way. And I can see the struggles and the feeling of guilt that the main character has. That she's feeling guilty for what she did, and how she's dealing with it. There was also great performances from the actor, and the direction is very good. The direction really keeps you there. Really is exciting. Although this is a quite static short. I mean, there isn't much action in terms of like running or fighting or stuff like that. But still, the short managed to stay compelling